Hola, buenos días. Good morning, friends from the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Boulder County. We are here with Gabriel Lopez. Gabriel Lopez is an amazing person that is doing great things for the younger generations, for the kiddos in our community. And he's going to tell us more about it. But I want to make sure that all of you know this interview is in benefit of the community. Please listen to it in its entirety. You're going to learn a lot of new things that you might not know. I just learned about these new things thanks to Gabriel. And Gabriel is part of our board of directors at the Latino Chamber. So he's very committed to support the Latino and Hispanic community in the Boulder County area. So thank you so much, Gabriel, for being here. Welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Carla. I'm so glad to be here. So I am Gabriel Lopez, and I am the coordinator of equity and community engagement here at Boulder Country Day School inside the Gun Barrel neighborhood.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, Gabriel, I didn't hear about Boulder Country Day School until I was part of the Leadership Fellows program with the Boulder Chamber. And one of your coworkers, Susan, which she's amazing, talked about it. And I didn't know anything about BCD. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Boulder Country Day School is an independent school. We are a small institution of less than 400 students. Our students range in age between preschool to 8th grade. In every school, preschool, elementary school, and middle school, we have various programs that are geared to be developmentally appropriate for that age group. So, for example, in the middle school, we offer the IB curriculum, which is a worldwide recognized curriculum that I think is absolutely wonderful. In the preschool, we have more of an anti-bias approach. But yeah, that in a nutshell is Boulder Country Day School. I'm not surprised you didn't hear about us because, at the end of the day, we're an independent school. And so we have a very small community, and our connections reach far and wide. Actually, they're nationwide and worldwide. But still, it's a very insulated community. That's part of the part of my role, where it's really about building bridges with our greater community here inside Boulder County.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for explaining that. And as a parent of a former private school kid, I am very surprised of what BCD does because the school that my daughter used to attend is not really engaging with BIPOC communities, but also they're not doing at this point, 2023, they're not doing the DI work, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also belonging. A lot of the students that I see at BCD, and I've been there in the past few months, seem like they belong there. They want to be there. They love to be there. They have cultural events and things that are appropriate for the BIPOC community. So I think that's amazing, and that's great that BCD is doing that. So now I want to ask you, what does the community engagement piece means to you, specifically when it comes to engaging with the Latino community, but also the Latino Chamber, because you're part of the board and you came from Texas, which is a very high Latino population, and it's very different here. So how do you see the work of BCD and your work specifically with the Latino community here in Boulder County?
That's a big question. I think for me, it really boils down to one thing, and that's building community. It's making connections. It's building relationships. You know, uh, any of the meetings that I've attended with the Latino Chamber are really meaningful to me because I think it's the one thing we all have in common, where we're looking to connect further with our community. And so here at BCD, that encompasses going out into the community and looking for partnerships. Right now, specifically talking about the Latinx community, it's really about first making our community aware that we're here. Uh, Second is, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? I believe in what our teachers are doing in the classroom, which makes my job a whole lot easier because if I believe in what we're doing, then all I have to do is communicate that value to our community. Um, it's interesting how the Latino Chamber came into my life because coming from Houston, like you said, is very different. My background is in social services, community engagement, that kind of thing. And so it was a very natural connection to the Latino Chamber because I have experience in getting nonprofits off the ground, looking at the bylaws, things like that. And it's really neat to see the tremendous work that the Latino Chamber has done just in the last 12 months alone. It's really impressive how busy you all are. And I think right now it's about sort of connecting all these different things that are happening in isolation around the county to really support our community. Um, and again, for us here at BCD, it's about making the community aware that we're here and the ways that we can serve the community. Earlier, you talked about our emphasis on DEI. That's big. When you look at independent schools across the area that are doing great work, I'm very proud to say that we're very much at the forefront of this type of work to ensure that we do create belonging with our community.
That's amazing. That's great. And I want to make sure that everyone knows these, and we're going to touch base on that a little bit at the end of this interview. But we are going to be at BCD. We're going to be visiting BCD for our Cafecito of November. And I think that's going to be a great way for the community to feel comfortable. The staff of the Latino Chamber and volunteers are going to be there. If anyone needs translation or interpretation, we're going to be there to support. Obviously, Gabriel will be there as well. But that's something that we want to make sure that people in the community feel comfortable entering spaces where we're not used to be, So yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So let me ask you this, and probably you answer a little bit of this next question already, but what is the part of your job that you are most passionate about and why?
So I would definitely say the learning process that I'm able to facilitate that I know ultimately creates feelings of belonging. So, for example, there's days where um, I'm really with the students from the beginning of the day to the end of the day because I'm reading the book or I'm facilitating a lesson on multiculturalism. Right now, we're doing a whole lot of work around Dia de los Muertos and ofrendas, what is appropriate for Halloween, those kind of conversations. And then there's other days where I'm a lot more with our faculty, our teachers, and coaching them on the process of how do we use the social justice standards to create inclusive lessons. And so I think for me, the part that I'm most passionate about is that learning process that I know will ultimately create feelings of belonging. And so when you see our BIPOC students in the hallways and they look happy, they look like they belong, that's a very organic process, but it's also a very intentional process. It's spending time with teachers so that they know how to handle conversations when they are a little, uncomfortable. It's coaching our students when they do have those moments of, well, there's not too many people like me, right? And so how do you create belonging? I would say that's what I'm most passionate about.
Thank you, Gabriel. I think you just touched a point where I took a training a few years ago that it's called Courageous Conversations, and it's conversations about race. It's those conversations that take courage to have, but that are necessary to have. So that's something that and doesn't matter. The Latino Chamber, as you know, is big about education for small businesses, for Latino professionals, but we need to start younger. We need to start with the little kids, so they grow up with this belonging and inclusivity piece in their lives, with making it normal, making it organic, like you mentioned. But I feel like that those conversations need to happen anywhere, in any industry, in any area or any field of our lives, and in the especially specifically in the work area. And I'm really glad to hear that you're not only working with the kids, but you're only also working with the staff. So they, because sometimes we need to get educated in these topics because we don't know a lot about. So that's something that I'm really proud about you and the work that you came to do to BCD. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
And my last question is, how do members of our community get to know more about BCD and determine if the school might be the right for their families? Because I know a lot, like I told you at the beginning, I didn't know about BCD, and I wish I knew 10, 12 years ago when my daughter was going to elementary or middle school, because I used to live in Lafayette. So that's pretty close to me. It wouldn't be bad. She used to go to school in Louisville, so it wouldn't be a big difference to take her to Boulder. But tell us a little bit of how people can get more information and get in touch with you or anyone at BCD.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way would probably be the website, which is bouldercountryday.org. We're also very active on social media. If you look us up on Instagram, for example, or Facebook, we have a person internally that continuously puts out messaging. We're big about being clear about what we do in the classroom, so you'll constantly see pictures on a regular basis of what our kids are doing, the science experiments. A couple of weeks ago, we took kids to a social justice conference and we posted pictures. And so that's really the best way to get an idea of what we're about. And then when the community is ready to make an appointment to get a tour and meet our admissions team, they can certainly reach out via the website and get more information that way.
Okay, yeah. In the description of this video, I'm gonna put all the information that you just shared with us, so people get to kind of dig into what's BCD on the website, and then if they have any questions, they can reach out. But yeah, I will do that. And the other way to engage with BCD and to get to know Gabriel and the staff at BCD, we're gonna have, like I was telling before, we're gonna have a cafecito, which we always have a specific topic. The topic for this month is education. So Cafecito en Plática is a way or a space that the Latino Chamber creates, sometimes in partnership with other organizations, to have employees and employers and business owners and Latino professionals come and learn about resources. So this is a great way to learn not only about BCD, but also the different ways of education and how it impacts our kids, and specifically about the opportunities that BCD has in regards of scholarships, in regards of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all the work that they're doing that probably other organizations or other educational institutions don't have the chance to work on, not because they don't want to. Sometimes they're short-staffed, sometimes they don't know they need to be working on those topics. So I think this is a great opportunity to get to know Gabriel, the BCD staff, and other chances of a different type of education in regards of private education for the Latino community. So I really want to encourage our people to be there, to visit us during the cafecito. Gabriel is going to have cafecito and conchas ready for us. So we're going to be there. And it's very exciting for us to have the cafecito at a different place than our office. So Gabriel, thank you so much. I don't know if there is anything that you want to add.
No, just thank you for the opportunity, and I welcome our community to connect. I believe in what we're doing as an institution. We have financial aid programs, and I can't wait to connect with more of our people.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you, amigos, and we'll stay in touch soon.